This video contains spoilers from Steven Bomb 5, as it was mistakenly released early on Cartoon Network servers. So please, if you don't want to be spoiled, click off now. And if you've already watched this episode, please, when it gets released officially, watch it on TV. Watch it on Cartoon Network's website, support the show, buy merchandise, do something to support the show, to support the official release, please. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Hey guys, Awestruck Vox here, and welcome to my review of Gem Heist. For all my anime watchers out there, all my anime fans, you guys know what I mean when I say this episode felt very anime-esque. In its atmosphere, its tone, its music. Ivy and Sarashu did an amazing job with the score of this episode. Like, I can't wait for them to hopefully release these tracks on SoundCloud because, geez, these were just amazing. So the gems make it to the zoo, which kind of looks like a dreidel. And I also noticed that there was a red eyes like surrounding the zoo. For those of you who don't remember, back in episode 2, Laser Light Cannon, the red eye was scanning the earth for gems. Here we have the red eye in front of the zoo. So I guess we can make the assumption that on homeworld facilities they're like always present, which I find kind of interesting. And for everyone who's seen my prediction videos, as I usually tend to be, while I wasn't exactly dead on with the plot, I was corrected by a lot of elements that would appear in this bomb. I speculated and predicted before that we would see fully grown amethyst and new homeworld gems. And this episode did just that. When they arrive to the zoo, they see fully grown amethyst under Blue Diamond's court, which I really love the look of them. Like, something about the purple and then that blue just looks really nice. So the gems are freaking out, they're like, what are we gonna do? And Garnet diffuses into Ruby and Sapphire just says if we play the roles that we're made for, we'll be fine, it'll be smooth sailing. So Amethyst shapeshifts into like a bigger Amethyst, and I was really surprised Pearl didn't put on her spacesuit or something. Granted, I know her spacesuit has a pink diamond insignia on it, but side note, a lot of people are like, just because Pearl didn't say what diamond she belonged to doesn't mean she belonged to White Diamond. I've explained this before a lot, but my personal take on it, the likely case is that Pearl belonged to White Diamond, which is why in the answer, in the first sequence of Rose and Pearl, Pearl looked kind of white while Rose was more pink. Pearl has a similar hairstyle to White Diamond, and they share the same gem placement, just like the other pearls that belong to their diamonds. She was made for White Diamond and she served White Diamond, but then she became Rose's Pearl, which made her under Pink Diamond's court, which is why her spacesuit has the pink diamond insignia, and why there's pink diamonds on Sardonyx's shoes. Besides that though, I was surprised that Pearl didn't put on like any of her homeworld designs. She just walked in with her current form, which has a crystal gem star on it. She didn't try to cover it up or anything. I thought the stars and the crystal gems were kind of hand in hand, although I do recall in the Greg flashbacks, Garnet nor Pearl had their stars at the time, or at least Garnet didn't, nor did Amethyst. So maybe the stars was a newer thing, but Bismuth also has a star, so that's why I'm like, was it a common thing for crystal gems to have stars during the war? So it was really odd to me that she wasn't recognized by Holly Blue Agate, which I'll get to in a second. So they act as if Steven's an offering to get him to the zoo, and the Amethyst, at first I couldn't tell if that was Amethyst's voice actress, Michaela Dietz. Oh, that's how you pronounce it. When the first Amethyst said state your purpose, I was like, that kind of sounds like a guy. Plus it looked kind of more masculine, so it threw me off at first, but no, that is Michaela Dietz. When they kept talking, it sounded more like Amethyst. Because I was thinking for a sec, was Amethyst that much of a defect that her own voice isn't even the same as the other Amethyst? That would have been deep. And even here, you can see how kind of like the amethysts are from Earth because they act more silly. Like when they joke around with Steven, like, oh, we're just going to throw it on the human shoe. And they're like, oh, he fell for it. That was a subtle hint that these amethysts aren't exactly like the other homeworld gems. And then we are introduced to Holly Blue Agate. And this is where I got more of an anime shonen vibe from the episode, especially with Holly Blue Agate's introduction, the camera angles, everything. The pans, the zooms, the sound effects, and especially the music. It was a really great atmosphere. And honestly, this sole moment is when Steven Universe seriously starts to change because for once the homeworld gems didn't come to them, they went to the homeworld gems. This added a whole new air of tension. And just from the get-go, Holly Blue Agate is a bitch. She kicks one of the amethysts. She's like, oh, were you talking to them? Acting just really disgusted towards them because they're from Earth. She even says it to Sapphire, like, oh, pardon them, they're from Earth. Agate goes on to say for the first time in millennia, they get 2 humans in one day, and that Blue Diamond just left, which the gems are relieved by. And while I did get a nasty vibe from Holly Blue Agate, I don't see why everyone else hates her as much as I disliked her. Because she's getting like a lot of hate from fans right now. I'm sure she has some fanboys, some fangirls, but there's also a lot of hate. She treats the amethyst bad, likely because they're from Earth. Whenever Steven says something, she's like, oh, what is that noise? Like, treating him like she can't even understand him. But then when Sapphire says the exact same thing, she acknowledges it. She's like, oh yeah, right this way. She's just really stuck up. But she also praises the diamonds. And honestly, she just seems like a normal homeworld gem. That's exactly how I expected the homeworld gems to act. At the end of the day, she's just doing her job. And even after this bomb, I don't think she's done anything too awful yet to warrant hating her. Disliking her, yeah, I can see. I think you're supposed to dislike her, because even as a homeworld gem, she's just nasty. But I think part of the reason is the fact we saw that Blue Diamond actually try to learn about humans and Greg through his actions. She was surprised that they could empathize so well with her. So I guess going from one of the leaders of homeworld treating human with respect to just treating them like pets, like animals, would upset a lot of people. And I think seeing Pink Diamond Zoo was it was really a different experience from just what we're used to in Steven Universe. Like, okay, because before all this, what have we seen from Homeworld? The Moon Base, and the Hand Ship, and the Ruby Ship. But now we're in something actually built by Pink Diamond, and the Homeworld aesthetic, it looked very crystal-like, and the pink everywhere. The fan art basically nailed it right on the head. Everybody who drew Homeworld fan art, congratulations, you got it 100% right. One thing about Holly Blue Agate, something that we also learned through Holly Blue Agate is how housebroken our Pearl is. When she says stuff like, oh, does your Pearl always walk to the side? Is she gonna get the door or not? Pearls really are slaves, butlers. They really don't get much freedom at all. They have to conform to these rules that they have to do exactly this or exactly that they can't do this or can't do that. But I did love Sapphire trying to act like a homeworld gem. Honestly, I love Sapphire in this entire bomb. I think this is something else that me and a lot of people predicted, with that Garnet was split up into Ruby and Sapphire and we get more development on them. But I feel like we got especially more development on Sapphire personality-wise. We got a good grasp on personality here than we did in Hit the Diamond or Keystone Motel. She's very quick on her toes and puts on a great performance, and she's just funny, honestly. She's honestly a very relatable character, because I'm pretty sure we all had to put on an act for somebody. Act like someone we wasn't for either a family member, a job interview, meeting a significant other's family, etc. In her case, however, it was coming back to an old family, acting like you don't despise them. I also loved Ruby's reaction to Agate praising Blue Diamond and Ruby going off after Sapphire, and Ruby created a distraction for them to walk away, and Ruby says, oh, Blue Diamond hates love and fusion. She's not a great diamond at all. And that's something else that I really enjoy about this bomb, is that it establishes how much Ruby loves Sapphire and vice versa. How Ruby gets so defensive over Sapphire. It's honestly an adorable relationship. I thought before, especially due to Hit the Diamond, that the relationship was getting kind of obnoxious, but no, this is a good way to portray it. Don't have them fawning over each other, but have them get upset if they feel disrespected in any way, shape, or form. Especially since in Hit the Diamond, it was kind of a serious vibe because the Rubies could have easily contacted Yellow Diamond. But I guess them being actually on a homeworld base, on a homeworld facility, caused them to serious up, and stomach being not fused for more than 5 seconds. And a great line in this episode was Sapphire going, I'm really enjoying this tour, and Agate saying, yes, I can tell by the tone of your voice. And I think that's another part of Agate's character that I can see why people don't like, how she doesn't respect lower class gems, but she gives upper class gems like Sapphire the uppermost respect, even when they're clearly playing her as a fool. And then more amethysts walk up to Agate, she's like, no running or yelling in these halls. And then when they try to explain to her what's going on, she's like, I can't hear you under your mumbling. Which is, once again, very contradictory, because, what do you want them to do? Honestly, I think Agate might be my mom. I mean, I can't be the only one who's had times where I try to speak to my mom, and she's like, why are you yelling? And then you try to speak quieter, and she's like, well, now I can't hear you. Honestly, Agate just might be a soccer mom. But the amethyst explained that Blue Diamond's already on the way back, and Agate, flips her shit. She's like, we have to get ready for her now! The amethyst then proceeds to take Steven and assimilates him into the zoo. And this is a huge flaw about Homeworld that I actually really enjoy. They're such perfectionists that they only make their machinery to do their one purpose. Because the gem destabilizers were meant to only work on gems, Steven being half human, half gem was resistant to it. And now here, since the zoo assimilation was only meant for humans, since Steven's half human, half gem, it didn't detect his gem. Homeworld never even took a moment to consider what if a gem got in there. What if a hybrid like Steven got in there? And not only is it one of their biggest flaws, but I think it's definitely going to play into their downfall because they didn't calculate such a thing. They don't take a moment to consider these things. And these simple things cause big slip-ups. It has major consequences. It shows that Homeworld and other conformity and perfection isn't actually all that perfect. And Steven's been on fire and on edge lately. I love it. Him going off on the robot saying oh, come and get me. I'm gonna get my dad. Do your worst. I'm on that adrenaline rush. Just seeing how determined he is to find his dad is really, really, I can't even say heartwarming. It's actually kind of badass. And what looks like limb enhancers, automated limb enhancers, are taking off Steven's clothes, checking his vitals and such. And then they put on what reminds me of Aladdin or Arabian Nights type clothing. I know someone in the comments is going to say what it actually is, but that's what it reminded me of. And he arrives at the zoo, which is actually more just like, it really looks like Mask Island. So I wonder if Pink Diamond modeled it after Mask Island or what. And now it raises a question of, was Pink Diamond ever on Mask Island? Was Mask Island actually colonized by the gems? And that's why it's so gosh darn pretty and crystally. And Steven sees Greg and he's with another Aladdin lookalike. And honestly, in the next episode, there's actually like a lot of people like that kind of looks like the Steven Universe version of Aladdin. And yeah, the episode ends right there. Overall, this was a pretty great episode. Like I said, felt very anime-esque. A lot of lore, the introduction to Holly Blue Agate, and Proper Amethyst, so I guess you can kind of say those are two new gems. It's really debatable on what you want to call them, and this is definitely one of the more memorable episodes of the bomb, just because it introduced Agate and such. Unfortunately, the next episode, The Zoo, I feel like won't be as memorable, even though it was kind of the whole center focus of the arc. The art animation was top-notch in this episode, so was the music. They really outdone themselves with this one. Like I said, this entire bomb, the crew brought their A-game. But these are just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours, so please comment down below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, it really helps us out. Follow us on social media, join our Discord server, links to everything in the description down below. Awestruck Vox, signing out.